I'm in sunny Los Angeles, California, at the home of design icons Charles and Ray Eames. Today we'll sit down with their grandson and understand how their work changed the face of interior design. Charles and Ray Eames are legends of the interior design industry. Their groundbreaking contributions to architecture, furniture design, industrial design, manufacturing, and the photographic arts still lives on today. Visiting their personal residence in the Pacific Palisades helps all visitors understand their impact on the interior design community and beyond. Tell me a little bit about the house and what we have here.
So we're on the grounds of the Eames house, which is case study house number 8, part of the case study program. And Charles and Ray designed and built it in 1949 and lived here the rest of their lives. And there's a great little doorbell here. Why don't you pull it? One of the interests of the case study program was using technologies from the war effort, and so there are a lot of prefabricated parts that were used in the building. I mean, the whole frame of the house is from prefabricated parts, but that also means it can be almost like a box of Legos. So they had one design in 1945, and that was published, and that was co-designed with Charles Eames and Eero Saarinen. And the parts were ordered. It took about 2.5 years because of the post-war material shortages. And in that time, they really fell in love with this meadow out here. And this original design was going to cantilever into the middle of the meadow. And they realized they were doing what architects always do, which is to find a beautiful site and destroy it with the building. So they redesigned it to be built from the same pile of parts, like almost like a Lego kit, and it became the house we see today. By siting it this way, they didn't have to chop down any of these trees because that cantilever structure would have gone in there. And by tucking it into the hillside, they preserved this row of trees. So one of the things I find fascinating is that this house is, you could honestly describe it as a pair of steel boxes, and yet somehow it fits more comfortably into the landscape than a lot of houses that try to be sort of organic or biomorphic or whatever. It's very honest about what it is. Well, this, when we were growing up, this was just our grandparents' house. We didn't think of it as an icon of modernism, or it was just a great place to visit. We'd go out, we actually often have picnics, and we'd have breakfast out on this patio all the time. And I remember Ray would always bring out this cut grapefruit with the great little spoons where you can scoop out the pulp of the grapefruit. And I would go photograph spider webs and stuff in the meadow with Charles. And I think that that's something that they passed along to us. I mean, when I was a kid, I worked at the aquarium in San Francisco as a volunteer, and there was I ended up going on a pretty neat expedition. And so Charles showed up the night before with a camera. And the camera, he said, this camera is the cheapest camera I could find, the cheapest 35mm camera I could find. And he said, but I think if you borrow your parents' Nikon, you're going to be so worried that you're going to drop it into the ocean that you won't take it anywhere and take any good pictures. And in other words, they could have gotten like the fanciest camera, but they knew that that wasn't what I needed. What I needed, it was about appropriateness. And I think they always had a really good sense of that. One of the most influential moments in Charles's life was a trip to Mexico that he took during the Depression. And he spent about 8 months in Mexico, and he said the thing that he learned from that, and he went from village to village, and he painted houses, painted them, and he also painted landscapes and traded them for dinner, all this kind of thing. The thing he learned from that is that you could have a rich life without any money. They had a very holistic vision of design, and I think that's actually one of the real challenges with design education now, is that people are taught more and more within little boxes and compartments, when what's really important about design is design thinking. Charles and Ray used to say that the role of the designer is basically that of a good host anticipating the needs of the guest. And that's a really powerful idea, and it's not really one that only has to be manifest in interiors. When you design a computer interface, the user is a guest. When you design a good system, everybody who's involved in that system is a guest. And it's obviously true when you walk into a room, those people are your guests. One of the lessons we learned was had to do with sort of what real value was. I mean, there are things in this house that are quite valuable, and there are things in this house that you could still get for a nickel wherever Charles and Ray got them. And it wasn't about cost, it was about good stuff. And I think that that's something that they passed along to us. I think Charles and Ray realized that if you always come from a pure place, good things are likely to happen.
Here's your assignment. Research an interior design icon who inspires you. Create a PowerPoint presentation with both images and text showing why they inspire you and other designers in the industry today. Good luck.